Bugsy Siegel, The Last Days of the Vegas King and Cleaning, Lindo, June 1947, Beverly Hills, Benjamin Bugsy Siegel, shot through the eye, assassinated in his girlfriend's mansion. Just hours later, Moes and Gus Greenbaum, both close to Meyer Lansky, walked into the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas. No hesitation, no sympathy. They took over Bugsy's dream like it was business as usual. Bugsy's murder wasn't just a hit, it was a message. The mob was done with dreamers. From now on, it was money or death. This is episode 4 of Criminal Code. Bugsy Siegel, The Last Days of the Vegas King. The Body's Not Cold, June 20th, 1947. Beverly Hills, Bugsy Siegel lies dead on the sofa of Virginia Hill's rented mansion. 2 bullets to the head, 5 more through his body. No warning, no call, no arrest, just a clean hit, the mob's way of closing a chapter. But while the newspapers printed the headlines, the real story was already moving 300 miles away, in Las Vegas. Moes walks in. Just hours after Bugsy's murder, 2 men walked into the Flamingo Hotel. Moes and Gus Greenbaum, both close to Meyer Lansky, arrived with briefcases and contracts. There were no condolences, no memorial, just business. Sedway had been Bugsy's partner once. Now he was the boss. Greenbaum would handle the day-to-day, and the profits would be tracked down to the penny. Bugsy's dream? Taken. No Meyer Lansky silence. Many believed Meyer Lansky had protected Bugsy as long as he could. They were childhood friends, started together in Brooklyn, built the national crime syndicate side by side. But business came first. Bugsy had gone too far, burning through $6 million of syndicate money, delaying the Flamingo, and refusing to answer questions. Lansky didn't order the hit, but when it came, he didn't stop it either. He stayed in New York, silent, watching. Virginia Hill vanishes. The day before Bugsy was murdered, Virginia Hill boarded a plane to Paris. She said it was for business, but many believe she was warned. Virginia was flashy, wild, and unpredictable, but she wasn't stupid. The FBI believes she knew the hit was coming. Maybe she helped plan it. Maybe she just ran. She never returned to the United States, not for the funeral, not even to answer questions. Greenbaum takes control. Gus Greenbaum was not like Bugsy. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't reckless. He was efficient, dangerous, connected to the Chicago outfit. Under Greenbaum, the Flamingo turned into a money machine. The rooms were finished, the dealers were trained, the profits came fast, and now every cent was sent back to the syndicate. No movie stars, no glamour, just business. The government watches. The murder shocked the public, but not the government. The FBI, IRS, and Nevada Gaming Commission all began watching Vegas like vultures. Everyone knew Bugsy was connected to the mafia, but now that he was dead, the real power was moving in, quietly, efficiently, with paperwork instead of bullets. The Flamingo became a blueprint for organized crime in Las Vegas, a place to launder cash, bribe politicians, and build a new empire. The Chicago outfit moves in. With the Flamingo now printing money, the Chicago outfit wanted in. Tony Accardo, boss of bosses in Chicago, sent his man Willie Beoff to Vegas. But Beoff had a history. He'd once snitched to avoid prison, bad blood. Before he even stepped off the plane, Lansky gave the order, "Vegas is ours, not Chicago's." Beoff was found dead in Phoenix, Arizona, car bomb. Message received, "Stay out." Bugsy's legacy gets buried. Years later, the mob rewrote history. In the casinos, Bugsy Siegel's name vanished. No pictures, no plaques, not even a mention in the Flamingo. Moes and Gus Greenbomb took credit for the Flamingo's success. Bugsy became a whisper, just another body in a long line of bodies. But the truth? Without Bugsy, there'd be no Strip. He was reckless, arrogant, but he had the vision first. The rise of Moes. After Bugsy's death, Moes slid into the driver's seat. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't violent, but he knew how to count. Sedway kept the books clean and the profits fat. With Gus Greenbaum by his side, they turned the Flamingo into a gold mine. Meyer Lansky watched from a distance, proud, but silent. Gus Greenbomb's bloody exit. In the 1950s, Greenbomb got hooked, not just on gambling, but drugs and women too. He started skimming. The outfit found out. One night in Phoenix, Gus and his wife were butchered in their home. Lansky didn't blink. Business was business. Vegas turns corporate. By the late 60s, the mob's grip started slipping. New laws, new faces. The corporations moved in. Hilton, Howard Hughes, legit money started buying up casinos. The streets ran quieter, but the soul of Vegas changed. The suits replaced the soldiers. The shadow of Bugsy. Even as his name was erased, his ghost stayed. Dealers whispered about him. Old-timers told stories. Bugsy would have done it different. The Flamingo kept growing, but those who knew, they never forgot who lit the spark. A grave in Beverly Hills. Bugsy Siegel is buried under a modest tombstone in Beverly Hills. No crown, no flowers, just a name in stone. But in Vegas, every neon light still burns in his name. Realizado, they shot the dreamer, but the dream built an empire. The mob's new face, Tony Spilotro. In the 70s, Tony, the Ant, Spilotro landed in Vegas. Sent by the Chicago outfit, he wasn't there to play cards. He was there to control the skim. Bugsy built the dream. Spilotro came to protect it with violence. The Hole-in-the-Wall Gang. Spilotro didn't just watch the casinos. He formed the Hole-in-the-Wall Gang, a crew of thieves who broke into high-end stores like ghosts. They hit jewelry shops, banks, and homes, always quiet, always brutal. Enter Frank Rosenthal. Behind the scenes, Frank Lefty Rosenthal ran the casinos. He was the brains, numbers, odds, operations. No official title, just the man in charge. While Spilotro cracked skulls, Frank ran the floors. They were childhood friends until the game turned sour. Trouble brews. The FBI started watching. Frank's car was bombed in '82, blew sky high outside of Tony Roma's. He survived, somehow, but his marriage was over, his empire collapsing. Spilotro's downfall. Tony became reckless. He brought too much heat, too much blood. The outfit made a call, take him out. In 1986, Tony and his brother Michael were found in a cornfield, beaten, buried, forgotten by the same mob they served. Vegas cleans up. After the Spilotro era, Vegas went clean. The corporations tightened control. Mob influence shrank to whispers and memories. But the legacy was there. Beneath the glitz, the bones of the past remained. The dream never died. Bugsy's Flamingo still stands. Not the original walls, but the idea. A place where risk meets reward, where danger dances in a tuxedo. His dream outlived him. That's immortality in Vegas terms. And so it ends. Bugsy Siegel was a visionary. Meyer Lansky was the architect. Tony Spilotro was the enforcer. Frank Rosenthal was the operator. Together, they built a city, one bullet at a time. A message in a cornfield. Tony Spilotro thought he was invincible. He strutted through Vegas like it was his empire, beating, stealing, even killing under the outfit's blessing. But he broke the rules. He brought too much heat, too much noise. And when the bosses had enough, they didn't argue. They didn't warn him, they just invited him to a sit-down in a quiet house in Bensonville. Tony and his brother Michael were beaten to death, with fists, not bullets. Old-school justice, slow, brutal. Their bodies were dumped in an Indiana cornfield. That was the message. You break the code, you disappear. Vegas goes legit, or so they say. After the blood dried, Vegas changed. The casinos didn't stop spinning, but the suits running them did. Corporations started buying the mob out, hotels merged, brands took over, surveillance replaced silencers, CEOs replaced capos. But don't get it twisted. The bones of this city, they're still mob-built. Every casino on the Strip has echoes of the old days, of Bugsy's blueprint, of Lansky's accounting, of Rosenthal's brilliance. They just traded brass knuckles for business cards. Meyer Lansky, the untouchable brain. Meyer Lansky wasn't flashy. He didn't dress loud, didn't run his mouth. But when it came to moving money, he was the Mozart of mob finance. He built offshore accounts, laundered millions, and kept the books clean, or at least invisible. The feds tried for decades to nail him. They followed him to Switzerland, Israel, Cuba. But every time they got close, the trail went cold. He died in 1983, almost broke, but with a grin on his face. Some say he left behind hundreds of millions. Others say it was all gone. The truth, only Lansky knew, and he took it with him. The ace that survived, Frank Rosenthal. Frank Lefty Rosenthal was a gambler, but not like the guys playing blackjack on the Strip. He gambled with FBI heat, with casino licenses, with mob temper and Vegas rules. He ran the Stardust, the Fremont, the Hacienda, the Marina, all for the Chicago outfit. He brought in the sports book, fixed odds, and handled payouts like a machine. Until one day, someone tried to silence him, a car bomb under his Cadillac. But Frank didn't die. He crawled out, half deaf, fully shocked, but alive. After that, he left Vegas. Lived quietly in Florida, no interviews, no casinos, no second chances. But deep down, he never stopped watching the odds. The ghosts of Las Vegas. Walk down the Strip at night and you'll see the lights, the fountains, the flash. But if you listen, really listen, you'll hear the whispers. Of Bugsy's dream, of Spilatro's rage, of Lansky's calculations, of Rosenthal's cold nerve. Vegas tries to forget them, to bury them beneath showgirls and slot machines. But the ghosts are there. They built the city, and they never left. A city built on blood and glitter. Vegas has two sides. One is champagne, limos, high-roller suites. The other is concrete shoes, unmarked graves, and silent vendettas. People come here chasing luck, but the mob, they created their own. They didn't rely on fate, they controlled it. With fear, with strategy, with brutal efficiency. And even now, behind the LED lights and billion-dollar takeovers, that original DNA still pulses. The Strip shines, but the alleys stay dark. Under Bugsy's blueprint never died. Bugsy Siegel was dead, shot through the eye in Beverly Hills, the ultimate message from the bosses. But the Flamingo didn't die with him. It rose, thrived, expanded. And every new hotel after that, it followed his model. The showbiz glitz, the luxury mixed with danger, the idea that crime could wear a tuxedo. Bugsy saw it all coming, he just didn't live long enough to enjoy it. Number 3, final hand. The mob never leaves the table. Today, Vegas is a machine. Tourists walk the Strip, gamblers hit the tables, celebrities host residencies. But the mob's fingerprints are still on every corner. In the back rooms, in the stories whispered by old pit bosses, in the plaques that don't mention what it really took to build this place. You can clean the carpets, polish the signs, swap gangsters for executives. But Vegas was, is, and always will be. A city built by outlaws, where the house always wins, because the house was built by the mob. The betrayal nobody talks about. After Bugsy's death, people whispered about Virginia Hill. Was she just a lover, or something more? Some say she gave the green light, not with a gun, but with silence. She left for Europe just before the hit, and the day after, she was untouchable. Coincidence, or clean hands after a dirty deal? Bugsy trusted her with his life, but in the mob, trust is a loaded weapon. Gus Greenbaum takes the throne. Gus Greenbaum wasn't romantic about Vegas. He didn't see dreams, he saw profit margins. The Flamingo under Gus became a cash cow. No glamour, no headlines, just quiet envelopes heading to New York and Chicago. But success made him cocky. And the outfit, they don't like cocky. The fall of Greenbomb. By the late 1950s, Greenbomb had a problem. Addiction, drugs, gambling, wild spending. He started skimming off the top. The bosses gave him a warning. He didn't listen. In 1958, Gus and his wife were found in their Phoenix home, throats slit. A final warning to anyone who forgot the rules. Moes Sedway's quiet rule. Moes Sedway, the man who helped Bugsy start the Flamingo, took over next. He wasn't flashy, didn't gamble, didn't party. But he kept the money flowing. He ran things smooth, quiet, until heart failure took him in 1952. Some say it was natural, others say it was too convenient. The shadow of Meyer Lansky. All this time, Lansky stayed in the background. He never held a casino license, never signed a contract, but he controlled more money in Vegas than any man alive. He was the architect, not of buildings, but of silence. Vegas becomes a battleground. The 1960s brought competition, new casino owners, new mob families. Detroit, Cleveland, Kansas City, all wanted a piece of the Strip. Sometimes they talked, sometimes they shot. Vegas became a smiling war zone. The FBI gets serious. Bugsy never worried about the feds, but by the 70s, the FBI declared war on the mob. Wiretaps, undercover agents, RICO charges, the casinos were bugged, the bosses were watched, and one by one, the giants fell. End of the old school. By the 1980s, the old mob names were either dead, jailed, or hiding in Florida. Bugsy's Flamingo still stood, but it was now owned by corporations. No bullets, no briefcases of cash, just stockholders, quarterly reports, and hotel rewards points. Vegas had been cleaned on the surface. The King's legacy. They called him crazy. They said he spent too much. They said he didn't understand Vegas. But Bugsy Siegel saw it first. He built the dream and paid for it with his life. Yet even now, when the Strip lights up at night, somewhere in the shadows, the King still watches. The last days of the Vegas King. Las Vegas never wept for Bugsy Siegel. No funeral with headlines, no tributes in neon. Just a bullet and silence. But what he left behind wasn't just a hotel. It was a vision, a city that never sleeps, never forgets, and never forgives. Today they gamble in five-star rooms, sip champagne under crystal lights, but they don't know the cost, the blood, the betrayal, the empire built by ghosts. Bugsy's body was buried in Beverly Hills, but his soul still walks the Strip every night. This was episode 4, The Last Days of the Vegas King. If you made it this far, like, subscribe, and share to keep the code alive. Next up, a new tale, a new crime, another name etched in blood. Until then, stay sharp, stay silent, stay criminal.